Okay, hello. How you doing, everyone? Thank you very much for joining us. As you come in, please say hello and let us know where you're coming in from. And smash that like button, whoever's channel you're on. That'll help push this live stream out to more people, get more people in, and that's a better chat for all of us. Liz, how you doing?
Good, good. Pretty good, just festive and everything, like, so, Christmas is, full on now, Christmas is full on. It is full blown on because today was the luncheon for work. So, I got to go watch people eat a bunch of things.
Right.
And I got to sneer at food, and everybody's like, "Oh, God, she's doing it again," that kinda thing, so
So we were
but
talking before, and part of your day today has been the removal of mashed potatoes from your
yes.
from your
I had
steak.
yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that makes people stare more than when you start to wash your filet. Like, you have to wash it with a napkin because it has, like, creamy mashed potatoes, like, stuck to it. Yeah,
Right.
that's fun. And they were
When
just,
you
like,
when
looking at me like, "What a psycho?"
when you say wash it though, like the image that comes into mind is like running the steak under
Mm.
the water from
Oh, I would've if I woulda had a sink, I would've done it, but taking it in the bathroom, I felt like was just, crossing the Rubicon, and I didn't need to do that, so, they really would've thought I was psycho if I would've done that, but that's
Mm.
kinda nasty,
Do you
but
do you get any comments or people just kind of go,
well,
she's doing her own thing?
yeah, they stare at me now, or they just go, "Ugh," and they roll their eyes, but, and then, and they're being most of my I'm friendly with the people that were sitting around me, and so they're like I don't know, if somebody would say something about, "Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want some, bacon wrapped dates?" And all this crap because it was a fancy restaurant, so you got little teeny weeny, like, hors d'oeuvres,
Hmm.
and then they were full of sugar, everything was full of sugar, so it's like, "You want some bacon wrapped dates?" I was like, "No, thank you," and then so you had my friend was like, "No, she doesn't eat anything, she doesn't eat anything," and so I don't even have a plate or nothing, so I had some
Mm.
goat cheese, so I was able to have some goat cheese and some, then that filet that tasted like crap because it tasted like roast beef, but I'm not being mean, so I feel bad saying that, but it's the weirdest thing because this restaurant's a really fancy restaurant, but it's like for 2 years in a row, the filet mignon tastes like tough roast beef, and I'm like and I know my cuts of meat from being a
Mm.
carnivore, it's like I know what a filet tastes like, and that is not a filet. It didn't taste bad, but it was how it's, a filet is tender, just by nature of the cut of meat typically, so it was just weird,
Mm.
so it's weird
Mm.
food,
I
but
think when you become carnivore and you've restricted your food to, just meat, just eggs, all that kind of thing, you get a lot more sensitive to the taste of
Mhm.
meat. It's not just,
Yep.
oh, I'm having a steak. It's like this
Mm.
is the main event. It better be good.
Yeah, and to tell you how bad it was though, see, everybody else who's not a carnivore noticed it. So, you can imagine with my palate, it's, like, way worse, you know what I mean? So, it was a lot worse because they even recognized it. They're like, "Yeah, this tastes like roast beef."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Um, yeah. So gotta sit up. Anyone have any questions or discussion or things they'd like us to discuss? Please put a Q in front of it in the chat and I'll get to it. So Rick is saying, I never had a steak better than a fattened Muscovy duck.
Mm.
Nice. Have you ever tried duck, Liz?
I have, it was really, it was a long time ago. I haven't eaten it since I've been a carnivore, but I remember it being really greasy, and
Mm,
I thought it was good though, and most people the people I was eating it with were complaining about it having so much fat in it, but I mean, honestly, for birds, because I mean, I'm not a bird person at all, but, like, turkey tastes like crap, chicken is a cardboard of the carnivore world, and, like, duck actually had enough fat in it to kinda make it worth eating, so but it's been a
mm.
long time since I've had it.
Yeah, same. It's been a long time since I had it as well. We used to kind of eat Peking
Mhm.
duck a lot. Um,
Just
but
like Christmas Story. That's like A Christmas Story, the movie, where they all go to the restaurant because the dogs eat their duck, so they have to go to the restaurant, and the people are singing the I don't know, Deck the Halls or something, they're eating duck, because they had never had or goose or something like that. They're eating goose for Christmas, and it's weird because they're Americans, But
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely much better in the fatty department than the turkey or chicken.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, I too have completely lost my taste for the bird. Yep. So LLL Carnivore for Life says we went to a restaurant in Melbourne and had a tomahawk steak. It was delicious. Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, we got a question here. On a scale of kale to ribeye, how was everyone's day? I'm kind of I don't know. A
Damn.
fillet on that level. How about you, Liz?
A filet. I'm definitely I'm at ribeye. I'm at ribeye. I'm at the top. Yeah, I'm at
Yeah.
ribeye. Today was a good day. Even though I had to scrape stuff off my food, it was pretty good. Yeah. It was a good day. We got out of, we left work early, so, that was a plus. It's a
Oh,
good
that's
start to the
good.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you working remote mostly?
No, I do, I have to go in the office because it's manufacturing facility, so I have to
Right.
be there to see, to look. I mean, I can do a lot of the stuff I do remotely. When I worked in software, I made software for pharmaceutical and medical device companies.
Mm,
That was all remote work because I was still director of quality assurance, but I can do all of that remotely. But this, when you're manufacturing medical devices, it's like you really need to be in there because somebody is just constantly screwing up something. So it's like you've got to see what the fallout is with your own eyes, kind of thing. So, but I work like
right.
regular hours or whatever during the week. So
Mm. Okay. So how many have Courtney Luna's Carnivore Cookbook? I don't cook, so I don't have it.
me neither. I don't make all the foods and things because that makes me go in the ditch. So I
It
make food sometimes, but
I've seen many of the recipes in there, and many of the photos look absolutely
mhm,
amazing, but no one's getting me in the kitchen to do anything but like cooking up a steak or some ground beef or
yeah.
something like that, because it's just going to be a disaster. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite of the simplicity is to do all the cooking. But I mean, I admire people who do that. I mean, that's amazing. That's
Mm,
very creative, come up with all that stuff and it's all carnivore. That's great. But it's
yeah.
sometimes I'll search for recipes, but if I do too much of that, I'm going right in the ditch. I'm going to overeat.
Mm, yeah, same. Yeah.
But she does good work. She does good stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. Um, So, yeah, guys, as you come in, give that like button a little smash and or a little tickle, and please put your questions in. Put the nice big queue in front of it, and we'll get to those. Um, what's Rick saying here? Carnivore Snark Tank Award video was funny. You need Carnivore Quack Awards next.
Yeah, I have to get some psychos on there. Well, I felt bad because of that because he's talking about the video did
Mm,
where I did the first annual Carnivore Snark Tank Awards, and it was basically Edward Goki, Bart K, because I had to do something with that. I'm sorry, that was just content that was just screaming to me from the wilderness, going, please do something with me. Him and that bear. Oh my God, it was gold. It was gold. So I did, so Bart K, as a scientist, because I
mm,
too am a scientist, and I can appreciate when you have these dinglings like coming on and talking about GLP-1s and blue, and all this kind of stuff that they have no idea what they're talking about. To watch him eviscerate these people is just magical.
mm.
And Kiltz was in there because he got an award because he's just a hippie, man. It's just so cool that he's just full on hippie, like, I just he's into yoga too, I think. Like, I didn't know he was into yoga, but I would have figured. So it's like it's just really cool. There's just there's such unique personalities, so I had to
Mm,
do it.
mm.
But,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but
Uh,
yeah, Quack, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Lame Norton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lame's good for
Yeah.
content. Yeah.
Yeah, Lane gets his because he's living in the nutrition household of the Adventures of Vegan Bob, and so he's doing some things in there. Let me tell you, like he picks up Vegan Bob, or he propositions him, when he has to go to a seedy motel, and he does some things. I guess I don't know, but
Oh.
he's just he's a little weirdo. So he's all kind of a freak. Which if you haven't seen Vegan Bob, like it's this cute thing I'm doing. But I mean, there's not that many places you can see like Anthony Chafee beat the crap out of Lane Norton. I mean, it's just cathartic. It just feels good, It feels so good to watch, So goofy though, not serious.
Nice. Okay, Luan Musler. Hello, Dave. First time catching you live. Can't thank you enough for your videos. Guests are terrific, and you're a great interviewer. Hugs from Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Okay. Question from Laughing Lola 25. How are we able to tell when we're fat adapted? Do you have thoughts on that one, Liz?
Well, that is a good question. Without now, one of the ways you can do it is if you are producing ketones. That's the obvious way. Like if you get a ketone mojo and you start monitoring your blood ketone levels. Now I won't say like when you're doing the pee, it's like it's different because that's like a different dynamic. And I don't really recommend that for people. If you really want to know, if you're really interested, I would say do your blood. But the energy for one thing. So when you first start and you're moving towards fat adaptation, you are going to feel some kind of way. I mean, it's usually not easy to do, and you're going to notice that you become less hungry, more energy, and that's pretty much the way you're satiated. You can kind of tell that you've gotten to where you're producing ketones at that point. And you don't really need to test your blood, but a lot of people, like I'm interested in it just because it's interesting to me. I just like to, monitor that here and there. But and especially in the beginning, it helps you a lot. Another thing it helps you do is if you do occasionally like have sweeteners or things like that, you can figure out certain things, whether they kick you out of ketosis or not. That's important. So you want to kind of see if certain things will kick you out and that kind of thing. But you can feel it. Like you can feel it energy wise, I think. Don't you think, Dave? Like when you first started?
I think there's the energy, but also like with the ketosis, you definitely, you can just feel it in your mouth. It's like it's
Oh
weird.
yeah.
It's a weird kind of metallic kind of
it's like ammonia.
Yeah, it's bad,
like a
but
little
it's
bit.
also good in a way,
And it doesn't, and that's the thing, it doesn't stay. Like it kind of it equalizes or whatever. But yeah, it's true. But also the cravings. I think you would agree with that. The cravings go away. Because that's part of the
definitely.
reason. Yeah, that's part of the reason you do it is because you don't want to have cravings anymore. And so when the cravings start to go away, you can pretty much count on the fact you're fat adapted.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would say like when you first get into ketosis, you might still have the habitual feeling of needing to eat food, but the pull is not strong enough to actually do it because your body doesn't feel hungry. It's just like a psychological thing. So you're less likely to go and, look in the fridge and all that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Let me just see.
Go
ahead.
What I saw? I saw something that was along those lines. Joe Rogan did an interview with Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is a singer. I think he's a country or something. I don't watch his music, but I know who he kind of is. But he used to weigh like, I don't know, 600 or 700 pounds. And somebody in the comments might be able to say how much he weighed. But he lost, and I'm not 100% sure how he did it, but he lost all that weight. And he was talking about one of the best parts of the interview, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but he was talking about how it was a mental thing entirely. Like having to struggle with, because like you were saying, when you get fat adapted, you're not hungry, but you're wanting to wander to the the refrigerator and all that kind of stuff. And his big struggle was beating the psychological effect of food and food addiction.
Mm.
So it's not always, that you're craving constantly and that kind of thing. It's habit. It's like habitual stuff. So, you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Um, okay. From Agent 99. A dear friend still suffers from the side effects of chemo and radiation after 4 years being diagnosed for prostate cancer, sweating profusely upon little exertion and in the middle of the night. Advice.
Hmm.
Are they
Are
doing carnivore or keto or anything? Sorry, Liz, I cut you off.
No, no, I know that's what I was gonna ask is are they still doing, um, chemo? Like, or are they
Mm,
over it, and are they healed? I mean, there's a lot of questions that this spawns, and, are they doing the diet and it's not
mm,
working, or, have they tried it at all? Because I
mm,
think anything that anytime you have a health condition, if you eat, a species appropriate diet, it's not gonna do anything but help you as far as, in my opinion. But,
mm.
you know
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be good. Just a little bit more context would probably help us out
mhm.
there. Um, okay. So on Jelly Roll, Headland Boy says he has lost so much weight we can't call him Jelly Roll
Mhm.
anymore. Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have to
What
become
the first when I had no idea who that. Well, I still have no idea who this is. But as
mhm.
soon as you said his name, Liz, I thought, oh, this is a really, really overweight person. That's
It
not the name you give someone who's really thin.
I think that's why he took that name, like, that was part of his
Mm,
persona is to be a giant person, and so or he embraced that or whatever. I guess he was a really good musician. I don't remember what his music sounds like, but I think
mm,
that was it. He does need a new name though, for sure.
yeah. Um, okay. Carnivore Ron weight loss. I heard that butter can keep you in ketosis because of a short chain fatty acid, and you can do a butter fast. How does that work?
I
Have
know
you
how
ever
that
done a
works.
Have
Yes,
you
I
ever
have.
done a butter fast? Yeah.
I've done a fat fast, and when you do a fat fast, you can try to find like, I can't get a butcher to get cuts of meat. What I would like to include in a fat fast is, like, the trimmings of a ribeye and, like, fry it up and just eat the fat part, but
Mm,
I can't get a butcher anywhere, so I end up eating butter for, like, a week if I do a butter fast or a fat fast, which would be kind of a butter fast. I would end up putting it in coffee, which I don't recommend people drink coffee, but if you already do, I mean, you already do. But yeah, I had amazing results from doing a fat fast, and it was mostly butter. It was butter, and now I do MCT oil, which is not carnivore, but that's the C8 fraction of it's an MCT is medium chain triglycerides. That was amazing. I was in massive amounts of like, I had a lot of ketones, like, I was at 5 or 6 kinda thing. So, I felt amazing, it was great, and I think I lost a total of 9 pounds in about a week because I had to lose the last bit of weight, I just needed to kickstart it.
mm,
So, yeah, the butter does help. Now, you can overeat butter, like, you can overdo it on butter and, like, I'm a butter addict, so, I've had problems with that, but just for a butter fast, the important thing about a butter fast is you cannot eat any for it to be effective, you cannot eat any protein, and this is just a short period of time too, but you cannot eat any protein, you cannot eat any carbs, obviously no carbs. But if you
mm,
have the protein, it's not going to work effectively as a fast, as a butter fast. So it has to be just
mm,
all
mm,
fat. But yeah, that was in my opinion, I mean, for my experience, it worked really well, but because I had to get rid of that little extra weight at the end.
mm. Yeah. For me, I love butter, but if I eat too much of it, I need to put the seatbelt on the toilet seat. So it's
Oh, yeah, 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 I go from, leaky gut to leaky butt, definitely, if I eat way too much butter, because I do not have a gallbladder, so people without a gallbladder and there is a difference, people without a gallbladder do not have a reservoir because the gallbladder would hold a reservoir of concentrated bile, so it's ready to go when you need it. I have to make it, I don't have any place to store it. So it's, if you tried to eat a ton, now I eat normally though, I can eat a giant steak, a giant fatty steak, and I'm fine. But if you try to abuse food in general and you're eating a lot of fat, like that's not a pretty sight. So just beware. Like if you're doing a butter fast, you don't have a gallbladder, especially if you're getting used to making bile or ramping up your bile production. You need to kind of take it slow, and then you'll adapt. So
Yeah.
I didn't need ox bile or any of that stuff. I learned my body adapted.
Right. So I think that's one of the really big kind of fallacies that's out there is like, if you don't have a gallbladder, you can't do carnivore.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, because I've interviewed so many
Mhm.
people that successfully do carnivore without a
Mhm.
gallbladder, but it's just a matter of
Mhm.
ramping up rather than going,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
15 sticks of butter on day one,
Yeah.
ketosis,
Yeah.
here I come.
And that's the thing, is that you just lost a piece of your equipment. You don't have all the same equipment that somebody else has. So they have
Mm,
a way to store and concentrate bile, which, by
mm,
the way, if they eat standard American diet, the reason they lose their gallbladder is because that bile is never released. You know what I mean? Or is not, it's concentrated and it just sits there and rots. If they're eating like hundreds of grams of carbs every day, you're not using it. It's not, you can end up having atrophy and inflammation. And then, that's part of the reason an excessively high carbohydrate diet is a lot of the times like what causes the gallbladder to fail. And that's what I was eating, and I
mm,
lost it. So, but you just have to be careful about the amount of fat you eat. And if you go
mm,
to the meat diet, it gets used to it. Your body adapts, and I haven't had any problems.
right. Dustin, how you doing? Good to see you. Um, Aid, good to see you again. Call off the search. I'm here now. And yeah, leaky gut to leaky butt. Yep, that's an
Yep,
awesome one. Yeah,
that is scary.
yeah. Okay, let me just tag some of these questions here so I don't lose them. All right. From Meaty Fan. Has anyone seen any updates from Limitless Lindy or Todd Carnivore Cure recently? Actually,
Mm-mm.
that's the thing. I haven't seen them on
Mm-mm.
YouTube for a long time. Yeah.
Carnivorous me either. Well, now that you're
Oh,
bringing that
yeah.
up,
It's
yeah, I
been
haven't.
more than a year since Amanda's been on,
It's
right?
been a really long time because I used to watch her, and I was looking to see, what she was doing, and I couldn't find anything out. If anybody knows, stick it in the comments, definitely.
Mm, yeah. Okay, next one. Oh, whoops. Here we go. Headland Boy. Priming. Who has done it? How did you guys approach it? I haven't done any priming. How about you, Liz?
What is that? That must be a
That's
thing. I don't know.
that. So my understanding of priming, and I
I
could
can
be wrong.
imagine a lot of things, but I'm sure I'm wrong. So,
It's like this is a steak and butter gang thing, where you eat as much as you can whenever you feel hungry. You don't let yourself, when you're first getting started with carnivore, you don't let yourself get hungry at all.
oh,
And the whole idea behind it is not that you're trying to lose any weight or anything like that at first. You're just trying to basically detox from carbs and sugar and do it in a
oh,
way that you don't let yourself get hungry ever.
so you won't
And
screw up.
yeah,
You're trying to stop yourself from screwing up. And, like,
yeah,
eating something you shouldn't. I
yeah.
mean, it makes sense. I mean, and you should eat. I don't think you should. I mean, I'm assuming they mean, like, not until you vomit kinda thing, but, I mean, you I mean, that's what I was imagining, it's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," I think
Mm,
if you're just eating until you're satiated and making sure that every time you eat until you're satiated, I mean, that's what I did. When I
mm,
started carnivore, I knew that I had to eat, and I kinda did it, I guess, because I knew that if I didn't eat until I was completely full, like, really full,
mm,
not like, in other words, you don't try to, like, because we're so brainwashed into, less is more and all that kinda stuff, and like, "Oh, we're just gonna, I don't wanna eat that whole thing because I feel bad." So I made sure mentally I told myself to eat until I was completely full, because if I was not completely full, I was gonna screw up. If that's the purpose of it, then yeah, I guess I did priming,
mm,
because
mm.
I when I started, because I wanted to make sure I did not screw up. It's easier to screw up if if you've got any kind of, like, room in there. So, if that
Mm,
is that
mm.
how you did it, Dave? It's kinda like you made sure you were full?
Yeah, like, there was just a point that I got to where I was like, "Oh, I just don't wanna
Mhm.
eat now."
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, so WD25A says, Bart K has done priming, Coach
I threw
Stephen has too. It's eating until you don't ever want to eat again.
I don't that psychologically, I can see a lot of benefit to that, honestly.
Uh, yeah.
And I
Uh,
think a lot of us do it by accident. I mean, not really by accident, but I think you just I don't know about cramming. I don't know. It's like I already eat till I'm satiated. So I
mm,
don't know how you would do anything outside of just, okay, I'm full. Like Dr. Chafee says, all hail, the extra room in it. But he always says, eat until you can't eat no more. So I mean, I think he does that every day. You know what I mean? It's not like a thing he does. He always says, make sure you're fully stuffed. And I think Barry says that too, doesn't he?
mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Triple L Carnivore for life. Liz, do you supplement for the loss of the gallbladder?
No, I started to in the beginning because I thought you would need to. I hear a lot of people talking about that, but really, I didn't. I ended up letting my body. I think I took it maybe twice, and then I realized if I supplement, it's not going to be as easy for my body to adapt. It's going to hinder it, I think, or possibly. I don't know for sure,
Mm,
but it's like possibly it could hinder my process of adaptation to ramping up the bile production, and it just did it itself, and I was just careful about how much I ate in the beginning, so I did it slowly so that
mm,
I wouldn't, have, problems,
mm,
but, so that I heard a lot of people doing it. Now, I don't know in my case this was my case, I don't know if there's other people who have different conditions or different, variety of things wrong with them, and they might need the ox bile.
mm,
It's possible, but I didn't end up needing it.
right. Um, okay, more gallbladder questions. Dustin, why don't they just clean out the gallbladder instead of just removing it?
I think they can in some cases, I think, but the reason most of the time is because it's necrotic. It's dead. It's like rotten. It's necrotic, dead
Oh,
rot. Yeah, so and mine was like necrotic, it's kinda like tonsils. From what I understand, and I'm not a surgeon or anything like that, but, like, my daughter had necrotic tonsils. She kept having, group A strep infections all the time,
mm,
and what was odd to me is that they went in there and they took them out, and then they're, "Oh, yeah, they were bad, they were necrotic." I'm like, "Things you didn't know yesterday?" Like, you're in there staring at her like, but I think it was embedded or whatever, so they can't see it until they get them out. Same thing
mm,
with, like, the gallbladder. He didn't know the gallbladder was that bad. There's no way to really know until you get in there and take it out. So, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you have a blockage or something, they can do something about that, but, not when it's, like, you got dead tissue. It's just, like, it's too far gone, but
mm, yeah. Here's a question I missed from a little bit earlier. Laughing Lola, fibromyalgia and rheumatoid arthritis. Does symptom relief occur on the carnivore way of eating? Um, from the people
yeah.
I've never had fibromyalgia, but from the people I've spoken to, they get a lot of relief.
Mhm.
Liz,
I had both, and
mm,
yes, that I took, tramadol, opioid for 17 years for fibromyalgia, and, I fully believe it is a disease of the West. I think it is because of the food, in my
mm,
opinion. Like, it is the crap food that we're eating that causes a lot of that, it's all the
mm,
I think it's mass inflammation from piling all the stuff that I was eating for all those years, because
mm,
it went away in a month. I think really 2 weeks, but I was too scared to stop taking my tramadol until about a month, and then I stopped taking it and I had no pain, and I couldn't function without it. So,
Right.
and the arthritis and stuff too.
And tramadol is like one of the most strong kind of pain medications, no?
It's an opioid, so there's different classes of drugs that it's like the best way I can describe it in just regular people terms and not getting into the chemistry or whatever. The way it makes you feel is like if you need real pain relief, like Tylenol's not gonna cut it, or ibuprofen's just not gonna work for that type of pain. It was, like, bad enough to where, "Okay, that doesn't work, I need something else." But at the
Mm,
same time, if you're a functioning adult, you can't go sucking down oxys or hydrocodone every day. You wouldn't be able to function, and you
mm,
wouldn't be able to go to the bathroom again. Because if you take Percocet or some of these other narcotics, it's like you don't poop, like, there's constipation is one of the biggest things for people who have to take strong pain medicine, and they'll usually have to be on other types of medicine to make them go to the bathroom, and it's just a nightmare. The
mm,
one thing I can say about tramadol is that it is as effective as all those drugs for pain relief, but it does not make you high or loopy or drugged feeling. And
mm,
the first couple of weeks you start taking it, it makes, you have to get used to it kinda, but after that, you don't really feel any different except for the pain is gone. So I have to say, if you had to take something for a very long time, that would be the one to take out of all of it. But it's still bad for you. It's very bad for your system to have to take that type of thing, so
mm. Um, okay. Agent 99, if doing a gallbladder flush requiring little to no fat for the week prior in preparation, is that doable on carnivore?
I'd I'd have to look into what those gallbladder there's a lot of flushes and detoxes and things like that that are out there, but I don't have the data on how effective a lot of them are. Um, I mean, not that there aren't some that I think are maybe, but it's been years since I've actually looked into that.
Mm,
Requiring little no fat. I mean, if any of what you're doing is eating carbohydrates, I mean, that's gonna cause
mm.
problems. It's, but I don't know.
And if you're eating a high, like basically just protein carnivore, that's gonna like maybe short term it's not gonna be that bad, but I
Mhm.
think you're not gonna feel all that full, and you're basically putting yourself into a state of rabbit starvation,
Oh, if you're doing,
like if it's just protein.
he's saying okay, I understand what you're saying now. You're saying no fat at all, and you're just doing protein. Is that it?
I,
Because when you
I I
said
think I think so.
when you said a gallbladder flush, I'm thinking of the stuff that they, promote, like the recipes that are promoted and, like, how, a detox type of thing. So,
Mm,
there's a lot of different, like, flushes out there, so I wasn't sure what you're talking about. Yeah, rabbit starvation, that also, will cause you, for short periods of time, will cause, weight loss. It's effective
mm,
for weight loss because, you're starving yourself, but you never wanna do something like that. You wanna do it only short term, but I
mm,
don't think eating protein, exclusively protein, I don't feel very good, just
mm.
in general, if I don't have the fat.
Right.
If I was to go a day or 2 and I eat too lean, I don't feel as good, but, it doesn't destroy me or anything, but I just don't feel as good,
Yeah.
so
If I'm not eating much fat, I will start to feel more peckish. So, like, volume
mm,
wise, I'm going to eat more, but I'm never going to feel as satisfied.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm, okay. And Jack is saying carnivore is a gallbladder flush.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true because you can reverse your gallbladder problems with
Mm,
carnivore, depending on how bad it is.
right. Um, okay. Carnivore Ron, could you eat egg yolks on a fat fast?
Yep, that's one of the things you can eat. Like, I made a drink out of it. I took you take the egg yolks and One of my subscribers told me about this, and you take a kettle and you whip it while you're putting the egg yolks while you're putting the water in it, and it ends up it's like an eggnog, and you put a bunch of butter in it. Just put butter, egg yolks, take the steaming water from a kettle, and you whip it while you're adding it so that it's like creamy. That is so freaking good. It's all like carnivore. There's no coffee in it or nothing like that. But that, yes, you're absolutely right. You can eat that on a fat fast. Just
Mm.
not the whites, but it tastes like eggnog. It's really good.
So, the interesting thing when we talk about kids kind of intuitively know what they should be eating, what they shouldn't be eating, like kids don't like vegetables typically. Like you give a
Mhm.
kid broccoli and they're gonna go, what are you trying to do? Trying to poison me?
Mhm.
Um, and when it comes to eggs, and like the yolk is the best part of the egg, right? It's the
I think,
most,
yep.
yeah. When I was a kid, that's all I could eat. Like when my mum gave me boiled eggs, there's no way I
Oh.
was gonna have the white. I was like, I'd scoop out the yolk, put salt on it,
Yep.
eat the yolk, and then
Mhm.
that's it, you
That
know?
is so funny because I keep hearing of the opposite over here, and I'm like, "That's just crazy," because the white of an egg is the nastiest thing in the universe to me. Like,
Right.
there's not it's like I have a literal phobia of egg whites, like, by themselves. Now, I can eat eggs, I love eggs if they're scrambled or whatever, and I love egg yolks. So, at family dinners, we have deviled eggs, which is the
Mm,
yolk and, like, a mayonnaise or something like that, and you make out of the everybody probably knows what that is, but it's like you make the filling out of the yolks and, like, mayonnaise and other stuff, and
mm.
then you fill the whites. I would trade the whites with my uncle, and he would give me the middle, like, we so we didn't like so, it's like I would not touch if you made me eat just the white part of a boiled egg, I would throw up in a trash can right in front of you. Like,
Mm,
it's the texture or something, I
right.
don't know what it is. I cannot do it. I can't do it.
So,
But
it's made me, like, when I was younger,
mhm.
before I got used to eating them, the whites would make me kind of, "Mm," you know, and,
I
like,
would
it was
too.
getting used to it, but it kind of makes sense because it's like this
Mhm,
weird texture of
mhm.
something that has no taste.
Because it's
It's like
missing the
give
part that had the taste.
Right, it's
Yeah.
like giving texture to water. It's like, why would you do that?
It's like slimy or something, it's nasty, and everybody else, like, I love boiled eggs, and I'll see 'em, putting salt on it and just chomping down or whatever, I'm like, "Oh, I can't do it," it's just, it's
Right.
it's a texture thing for me, but
Yeah. And like the 80s and the 90s was like that's two wasted decades where everyone thought that egg white omelets were the way they should be
oh,
eating, you know?
oh, that's the worst, I remember that, oh my god, that was almost as bad as the dry chicken and rice. Everybody was eating dry chicken breast and on rice, and Richard Simmons, it was a dark times, man, dark
Yeah,
times.
very
It
dark.
Somebody explain that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
explain it. I'm telling you, it was some kind of curse we were under, you
yeah.
know?
I can relate to Richard Simmons in a way because, I've got similar hair to him, so,
No, no, I'm sorry, you don't. You do not. I've seen your hair. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're wearing a hat. You might make people think you do. No, you don't. Like, he had a fro. Like,
No,
he had a full-on fro. Like,
so
woo. I mean, in the '70s, everybody wore it that way, but
yeah. The sad thing is, if I let my hair grow, that's what happens to it.
you don't. You keep it
Yeah, yeah,
short.
yeah. Yeah, that's why I keep
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a nephew who is the same way, like, really curly, you know what I mean? But he let the
Mm,
fro go, so that's a problem,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
you're a poet and you didn't know it.
That's right. He was weird, man, I'm telling you, like, I was looking back at some footage, and just the stuff we had to eat was just awful, and we were
Oh,
doing this all the time, so it's like we were tired, and we were hungry, and we were miserable and grouchy, and nothing tasted good, and it was just terrible.
yeah. I'm sorry, this is completely off topic, not related to carnivore, but just talking about Richard Simmons has just
Uh,
reminded me of something. If you haven't seen the episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway, where Richard Simmons was there,
I
you've got
don't
to
know.
search for it on YouTube. It was so funny.
Oh my god, I gotta look it up
Yeah.
now.
So Whose
Yeah.
Line Is It Anyway, Richard Simmons. That
Yeah.
was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a watch. So, woo, Scott, I've lost 77 pounds since January, turned my failing kidneys around. My nephrologist told me to find another doctor who wasn't on board. Yeah, stop getting so well, Scott. Go and find another doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice work. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I love hearing those stories. Yeah,
How
I had a doctor that I wanted to, yeah, strangle myself, like, who was like that. She was mad that I took iodine and cured my thyroid condition, so I
how
hate those.
bad is it that the doctor's ego is so out of
Mhm.
control that when their patients
Mhm.
get better, they don't like it?
Yeah, we got a doctor worship problem in this country, a big one, like a big doctor worship problem. And everybody thinking they know exactly, or doctors know everything and they know how everything works. It's like, I'm going to remind everybody, it wasn't that long ago that they did lobotomies. I did a video on this.
Mm,
We were doing lobotomies. There was something called a lobotomy mobile that they
mm.
drove around the country, and they took an ice pick and shoved it through your eyeball. Now, this is this far from leeches. This is this far away from, "Let's put some leeches on him." So, I mean, this is a this was in, and I can't I'll have to look at I'll have to remember, like, go refresh my memory, but we're not talking about 200 years ago, back in when the Black Death came. We're talking about John F. Kennedy's sister Rosemary had an ice pick lobotomy. It took
Mm,
only 10 minutes per eye. Tap, 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 and you are just a compliant human being. So, the fact that not that long ago, everybody was convinced that the lobotomy was amazing and this is a great idea. There was so many other things too, and in that video, I talk about other things that we were doing, and to believe that everybody knows everything and science doesn't change is it's like it's the opposite of what science is, which we're
yeah,
learning what is actually valid, you know?
that's why, doctors and experts that always say, "Don't question the science." It's like,
Mhm.
that's what you're meant to do. That is science.
That
If you're
yeah,
not
it has
asking
to.
questions about it, if it's not
Mhm,
robust enough to handle
mhm,
questions, it's not
mhm.
science.
It has to bear the weight of rigor, and that's why I was looking at all of this, like, DES was given to, mothers because they were convinced that it was going to make them, it was hormones, convinced it would make for healthy pregnancies. Their daughters developed vaginal cancer, widespread vaginal cancer, and they're monitoring the descendants of those people because it did that much harm. It didn't just
Mm,
harm the women, it harmed the women they had, and then they don't know about their grandchildren. So that's generational harm. But,
mm,
you know, so there, I mean, I have more story. I mean, there's just history is how learning about history is how we don't repeat it. So listening to people, you have mainstream beliefs and them just like dying on that hill is
mm,
dangerous, so you have
mm,
to, because there's a reason that all of us who do carnivore, the people that do carnivore that are on your channel, there's a reason that when we stopped eating anything but only meat, we reversed all our medical conditions.
mm. Yeah,
There's a reason, and it's pretty clear what the reason is. So, that doesn't take a whole lot of scientific experimentation to figure out,
right.
you know?
Sorry, I've gotta share this comment, um, from Chris. "We don't need lobotomies anymore, we have the internet." Well said.
Touche. Yes, you are
Um,
absolutely right. It's like a virtual lobotomy.
yeah. And so Terry is asking, only been here a minute, who is on with Dave? This is Liz. Liz's channel can be found at Carnivore Science. So definitely you should check that out and subscribe. Um, okay. Jamalama, I've gone from 250 on July 1st to 193 today, shooting for 185 by New Year's. It's going to be close. Nice work. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Okay. Laughing Lola, 10 pounds to my goal weight. Why is it so slow going? Mm,
It always works that way. Especially if you started out, now I don't know in your case, but if you start out super heavy it goes really fast in that case. Like if you have a lot of weight to lose, it's always fast to start. And when you get to the last lap, and you're always comparing it to previous, like your what it used to do. Like, so, your experience on your journey, it's like you're always comparing it to before. The last bit of weight is always slower. And also, I have unrealistic goals. I had unrealistic goals of what I wanted to look like because, you know, being healthy doesn't mean looking like a runway model. But like, so sometimes we have in our head, we have this idea of what we should look like, but that might not be our healthy weight. But you know what I mean? So your body will become stable at some weight. And you might be thinking, but I'd like to lose like 5 more pounds. You know what I mean? But it's all like vanity purpose. So, but I did the fat fast to get rid of my last 9 pounds to hit my goal weight. So,
just on the doctor's thing that we were talking about before as well, or the, don't question the science thing. Remember the doctors smoked cigarettes, and some are still saying a bit of drinking is okay. Crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
So have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yeah.
When they're in the hospital and all the doctors are having a meeting sitting around smoking.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, my mother, when I was born, they suggested that she has cool cigarettes. Like they said, you can here, they're menthol, they're good for you. And so they gave her cool cigarettes to smoke. This was in 67 or whatever, so that because she was
Wow.
anxious. They used to write prescriptions for cigarettes because of anxiety. So this is what I'm talking about. And I don't know. It goes back to Procter and Gamble not having any evidence that, taking machine lubricant and frying donuts in them was a bad thing. It's like they didn't look at it. They didn't try. They just did things. And that goes back to science. The doctors just like saying, let's do this now. Hey, this will work. And they just do
Right.
things, They're still doing that. And the thing is like, no, okay, things are more sophisticated now a little bit, but it's like in a big way, in a lot of ways, it's the same crap, just different decade kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Agent 99, can vaping keep your insulin elevated? I've never vaped, so I'm not sure.
I don't know if it affects your insulin, but I know that if you're vaping, I would not do that. Because I worked in a company way back when everybody started vaping, and the nicotine solutions that they were bringing in, because FDA, a lot of people don't know this, but FDA, I don't know who ended up with it either, but FDA, the ATF, all the alphabet agencies were arguing over who was going to end up with that, because it's weird. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden it's like, okay, nicotine, but you're not smoking it. You don't set it on fire. That kind of thing. It's like, so what do we do? It's like, you're tobacco. It's like, yeah, but it's a drug. You're food and drug. So you get it. No, you get it. It was like hot potato, and DEA's up there going, well, I'm not going to do it. So they're all arguing. And I remember when we were bringing it in, because this company I worked for was a pharmaceutical company. It just tells you the evil nature of this business. But they're like, yeah, we'll make the solution and sell it to these other places or whatever, so that they can repackage it or whatever. It was so toxic. It was so dangerous bringing that in, because if you got any of that, we had to wear like full hazmat suits to actually handle it before it was diluted, because if you got any on your skin, it could be absorbed in like instant heart attack. Like it could major problem, this nicotine or whatever. So the stuff that's when they're making these solutions, you've got a lot of random chemicals that if you're gonna ingest a random chemical, the worst place you can probably do it is into your lungs. Where, I mean, you're talking about an absorption that's like really nasty. So vaping to me is something that I think it can cause a lot of problems, but I don't have studies to show like what, you know what I mean? Like what exactly the problems that it's going to cause. But I predict a lot of really bad, like down the line, we're going to hear a lot of, just like you heard from smoking, you found out a lot of stuff later. I think you're going to find out a lot of similar things than you do with smoking, but you're going to have even more awful things as a chemist, and kind of knowing the stuff that they were putting in that, you know?
Yeah.
And this was a while ago. I don't know what they put in it now, but because this was years ago when it was first kicking off.
mm. Okay. From Jack. How do you all feel about fasting alongside carnivore? Do you do fasting, Liz?
I do, but it's not really I'm not doing it deliberately. I get busy and I end up fasting. Like I'll eat, I won't eat for a day or something. And it's, I think you have to be careful with carnivore because sometimes you're doing that and it's like you need to eat, but you
Mm,
don't because you can
mm,
go without it. Like everybody else, like they would get hangry, they get really aggravated because they're on carbs. But with carnivore, you're able to go without eating. So as long as you are deliberately fasting and you have a reason for doing it and you've got it in your mind, okay, I'm doing this on purpose. If you all the time stop forget to eat or just kick it to the side, I think that can be problematic because you need you need enough nutrients.
mm.
So there's kind of like two different things, but I have been in a position where I would not eat. It's easy not to eat when you do carnivore. It's really easy not to eat. I don't know if you found that, Dave, like because I don't know what it is exactly to describe it, but it's like it's not like what your life was before where you can't go
Mm,
but so many hours and it drove you crazy. It's not like that. So and you start to do other things with your life that you end up being engrossed in all these other projects and you don't like eating is like a I don't want to mess with it. You know what I mean?
right.
Like that's why cooking, you said cooking, you don't want to make all these elaborate meals. I don't either because I don't want to mess with it. It's like I have other things to do, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've felt the same kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's part of this is the food noise going away, like, and you're not getting
Mhm.
hangry anymore. It's like you actually have the focus to be able to properly turn your
Mhm.
attention to other
Mhm.
things now.
Mhm.
Like
Yep.
you're not in the middle of doing something and going,
Mhm.
"Oh, a donut would be really nice."
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like those things don't happen anymore. So you don't have
Mm-mm.
those invasive thoughts. So
Mhm.
it's just like you can
Yeah.
actually turn your attention to these other things.
Mhm.
So it can be kind of easy to undereat.
Mhm.
Um, but I've done kind of a long fast a few times over the last 3 years, like 48
Mhm.
hours. I think I did maybe, I can't remember if it was 72 or 96 hours was the other one. And it makes you feel good,
Mhm.
but also, because I'm such a creature of habit, like I'm also quite happy to go back to having my meal and each day
Mhm.
and just being done with it.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yeah, I think it can be beneficial. It's just, you gotta be careful that you don't end up fasting all the time or, most of the time. That wouldn't be a good idea, but fasting in general is, I think, good for your body,
mm, mm.
here and there.
Yeah. And Aid says, note well, the cigarette companies now own the food companies.
Yes,
Yeah,
they do.
and something on this, right? Like Philip Morris and everything, and I can't remember the other big American company that bought a lot of them. Um, they must be they must have got to the point after running these food companies that they started kicking themselves and thinking, why did we go through all that problem of selling this highly regulated substance and trying to get people addicted to this highly
Mhm.
regulated substance when we could have just more easily got kids hooked on these ultra
Mhm.
processed foods and made our money that way,
Mhm.
you know?
That's right, because it's like the addiction, it's like and I think the Jelly Roll guy said this in his interview. He said something about the or either it was Joe Rogan, and he said the problem with food addiction and getting addicted to food is that it's kinda like, what if you had to do heroin 3 times a day?
Mm,
Or what if you had to do crack, like, a couple of times a day? So and you're trying not to do too much of it, like, that's what food is like because you have to eat, you can't not eat, so you have to
right.
do the thing that you're addicted to, and that's
Right.
really like, that was a good point because that's what makes food addiction so sinister, is
Mm.
because gotta do it, you know?
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, sell it. that's why, like when in bad economic times, the best kind of thing you can own is a shop or a restaurant that sells food, something that sells
Mhm.
food, because people have to buy food.
Mhm. Yep, they don't
Yeah.
have a choice.
Yeah. And here's another one that I think's really interesting. Bride's Biscuit, moderation equals profiteering. It's a business model for consumption and sick care. Yeah, I think
Mhm.
words like moderation and balance,
Balanced. I
eat
knew
the
you were gonna say that.
rainbow, and it's a
Yeah.
get out of jail free
Yeah.
card for
Yeah.
doctors, and it's a method of profiteering for
Mhm.
food companies and that kind of
Mhm.
thing, because it's like
Yeah.
everything in moderation is fine.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
define moderation,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and they just made that up.
Yeah.
That's just they're just making it up, like, that's just made up,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah. Okay, let me have a look down here. Okay. Uh Fuchi. I fell off the wagon during a 3-week trip to Japan. Dave, how do you stay away from all the incredible food living in Japan full time? Um, After you live here for a while, it just
Mhm.
becomes, it becomes normal. It's like
Mhm.
anything, once you live with it for a while, if you win $1 million, it's like you're on top of the world, right? You're like, oh, my life is perfect now. I can do whatever I want. But then
Mhm.
a few months into it, it's like you just feel
Mhm.
like life's normal again. And I guess it's the
Mhm.
same in Japan. It's like when you get here and there's beer and vending machines and there's like all this different type of stuff and weird foods and whatever, it's amazing. But after a
Mhm.
while, it just becomes every day.
Mhm. It's like
Mm.
living in Sarasota, like, I felt that way. It was like, "Oh my god, it's beautiful, it's sugar sand, it's beautiful temperature and everything," and then you're like, "Eh," you know? I don't know, you take it for granted kinda thing
Mm.
after you live there.
Yeah. Red Research is asking, you live in Tokyo. I live in Osaka. Osaka. It's about half an hour on the train from Kyoto, if you know that. Yeah. Okay. Question. Sorry, I missed the question here. Okay. From Laughing Lola. Embarrassed to admit, but I drink Diet Dr. Pepper and Diet Coke more than I should. Does it affect my insulin levels or any other negative response from it? Thank you so much. Potentially, because there's a cephalic response. Is that right, Liz? The right pronunciation?
I think, the whole cephalic response. I know that's a thing. As
Mm,
far as its effect on insulin, I don't know, I don't that's not something that I've really looked at as far as, studies go.
mm,
But the one thing I can say about that, and I wouldn't say embarrassed to admit it, I mean, because one of the things that I did when I had to get off the standard American diet, I used diet sodas to get me off of the standard American diet. You have to look at things as less bad and more bad because
right.
I was swigging down pure sugar Coca-Colas, like, I don't know, a bunch per day, and that got me off of that, which is horrible. So you have not good and less not good kinda thing.
Mm,
So the diet drinks, though, the type of sweeteners they have in those drinks are not something that are good for you, and also, I developed from just soda and a diet soda, any kind of soda in general, drinking a lot of them can cause a lot of acid indigestion. You've got the chemicals, there's a lot of chemicals and stuff in there. If you have to have soda as a or diet soda as kind of a crutch kinda thing
mm,
to get you through and you're trying to get off of, like, bad habits and all that kinda stuff, they do sell, cleaner diet sodas where you get the bubbly and you get that kinda thing to get you so you can go less bad than that. So, like, if you know what I mean? So it's like a stepping stone. It's like, "This was terrible. I did a little better, a little better, a little better." And even Dr. Berry says, like, if you need diet soda to get you to not eat the cheesecake, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's a
yeah,
stepping
it's
stone.
it's the least bad option. Yeah.
Yeah, but long term, because nobody's gonna be perfect except for, Chafee. But, like, in the beginning, nobody's going to be perfect, it's like you gotta find hacks to get you to where you're going. So, I
Mm,
did it. I used the diet, soda thing. I did the same thing when I was first starting out because I was trying to make sure that I had something to substitute the horrible things, you know.
Mm. Yeah. So cheers, Mr. Cast Iron. So guys, we've been going for an hour. Thank you very much for joining us today with your chats and questions. And I am happy to report this has been our most viewed live stream so far
Hey,
while we've been live.
cool.
And that is thanks to you all for your likes and chats, which is fantastic. And we will be back with you in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.